Amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're talking about what happens when you ignore your fibroids. What happens when you ignore your fibroids? Like always, I am live on YouTube and I'm live on TikTok. I hope everybody's doing amazing. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Let me know where y'all are watching from, okay? Let me know where you guys are watching from. I would love to know. For some reason, the lighting is weird on YouTube, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. I'll figure it out later. So anyway, we're going to talk again. We're talking about what happens when you ignore your fibroids. Because I see this, it's important for women to understand and know what's actually going on in their bodies when they have fibroids. Because there's just not enough information about what's going on at the root when you have fibroids, right? What's actually really going on? What actually can fibroids lead to? There's so many different things that women don't think about when they're dealing with fibroids. They just think about the actual fibroid. So this live is going to shed light on what could possibly happen if we continuously, if we continuously do not address these fibroids. I think that's really, really, really important for you to know. Okay. I wish somebody would have told me beforehand when I was dealing with fibroids. So that's why I want to talk about this. We don't understand that these reproductive health issues mean a breakdown in our health. Okay. So come on in. Again, I'm waiting on more people to get on. Hey, Marsh. Okay, I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok. Okay. Welcome, Marsh. Yes, please like, subscribe. Okay. Hope you guys are having a great holiday season. Like and subscribe if you're watching from YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, yeah, it is morning in the States. Okay. It is morning. Okay. Now let's talk about it. As you guys are coming on, let me know where you guys are watching from. Okay. Let me know where y'all are watching from. Again, our topic is what happens when you ignore your fibroids. It's important for you to know what's really going on in your bodies when you have these fibroids, okay? So like the video. Again, if you're watching from TikTok, our overall goal for this live stream is 10,000 likes. So we got a ways to go because we're at 0 right now. So like the live stream. We want to get more women on here. Because we need women learning about what's really going on in their bodies when they have fibroids. There's just not enough information. There's no information at all, really. When we talk about the root causes of fibroids, when we talk about what fibroids can lead to, unfortunately, it's just such a blank, right? When it comes to fibroids, it's just all about surgery. It's all about UFE procedures. So we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about the real today, what's really going on in your body when you have fibroids. And also, too, what can fibroids cause later in the future? Because we do this thing. A lot of women that have fibroids do this thing, and I get it, because we don't know the severity of what's really going on. We kind of brush the fibroids under the rug. The doctor will tell you to wait and monitor. Let's just monitor the fibroids. We do these things when we just brush it under the rug and we don't actually address it. So it's so important that we understand what's really going on. Okay, so like the video. Again, our goal is 10,000 likes. Thank you, Juju, for liking the video. Was it true the 55-year-old woman on social media is pregnant? Marsh, didn't you see the picture? Didn't you see her big belly? Yes. Why would she lie? Yes, it's true. Okay, it's all over. Of course, right? But we're not talking about that right now. Let's talk about this. What happens when you ignore your fibroids? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Hello, my name is Sarah. Welcome, Sarah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me, hold on, make sure. And let me know where y'all are watching from. If you guys are watching, let me know where in the world you guys are watching from, because I like to know. Make sure I put it to subscribers only can comment on YouTube. All right, so let's get to it. Now, for those that are new, okay, Georgia, welcome. Okay, hi, Goldie, welcome. Happy that you're here. Y'all let me know in the chat where y'all are watching from. Jamaica, okay, Jamaica, okay. Welcome, welcome. Okay, we have Georgia, we have Jamaica. Where else are y'all watching from? I would love to know, I would love to know. YouTube, let me know where you guys are watching from as well. All right, all right, all right. Ladies, if you are dealing with fibroids, let's put a 1 in the chat. New York. Okay, welcome. Okay, we have East Coast. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you're currently dealing with fibroids. Okay. So let me make sure I'm talking to the right audience, because I know that sometimes YouTube, or even especially TikTok, they push it out to to people. So I want to make sure I'm talking to the right audience of women that are actually dealing with fibroids. Okay. Or maybe that you've dealt with fibroids or any other reproductive health issue. Put a 1 in the chat if that is you. Don't be shy. This is a safe space. Okay. So we are going to talk about today what happens when we ignore our fibroids. It's important for us to know. It's important for us to know. And if you're watching from YouTube, by the way, the thumbs up button. Click the thumbs up button, okay? Okay, so for those that are new, if you're new, let me know in the chat as well. If you put a 1 in the chat if you're watching me for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome if you're new. And if you're returning, also thank you so much for being here again. Here's the thing. For those that are new, my name is Sasha. Real quick before we get started, my name is Sasha. I am a holistic womb specialist. What I do is I help women dissolve their fibroids and reverse chronic reproductive health conditions such as endometriosis, adenomyosis, fibroids, of course, ovarian cyst, PCOS, uterine prolapse, and so on and so forth. Any type of womb issue, I help women overcome, reverse it, heal it from the roots. I do that through my womb detoxification framework that targets the root cause. I'm all about root cause healing. You're going to keep hearing that over and over and over again. Root cause, root cause, root cause, because a lot of us, we just want to do these microwave remedies and not address what's actually really going on in the body. And that's where we fail, right? If we don't want something to become a reoccurring problem in our lives, no matter what it is, even aside from health issues, we got to address the root cause. What's the root? And if you have fibroids, it's a lot going on in the body. It's not just the fibroids. So we're going to talk about it today, okay? What's the temperature of where you are now? It's about 60 degrees. So it's like sunny outside, and I'm here with y'all. So it's sunny. You just need like a hoodie, pretty much. And even now, you probably can get away with just a long sleeve shirt. So yeah, sorry that you're dealing with that cold weather in New York. I do not miss the cold weather in the East Coast, but I still love America, but we have to move on, okay? Now, let's talk about it. Let me know in the chat. I was saying earlier, let me know in the chat if you're dealing with fibroids. Put a 1 in the chat, whether you're watching from YouTube, whether you're watching from TikTok, so I know that y'all are real and not some bots, okay? Let me know in the chat if you're dealing with fibroids, all right? Okay, so we talking, okay. Okay. All right, thank you guys. Okay, let me know because I want to make sure I'm talking to real people here and not bots. YouTube, what about YouTube? YouTube, put a 1 in the chat if you're dealing with fibroids. Okay, so what can fibroids, first of all, we're going to talk about, not only we're going to talk about what happens when you ignore your fibroids, let's talk about what fibroids can lead to. This is what they're not going to tell you. And even some of that stuff you've heard already, but some of these stuff you don't really know and understand. And you may not think about. I wish somebody would have told me when I was dealing with fibroids. Because in case you don't know, I not only had fibroids, not only once, I had them twice. Because guess what? The first time I did not get to the root cause of the problem, so they came back. So when you guys do these surgeries and these procedures, guess what? The fibroids will come back. They will come back. And some of you guys already know that. We were talking about this on the last live stream yesterday, how somebody had 5 fibroid surgeries, 5 surgeries to remove their fibroids. That is ridiculous. And still had fibroids. And because of that, the 5 surgeries, because of the 5 times she cut into her uterus, guess what? Yeah, wow. Isn't that crazy? 5 times over the course of 12 to 13 years. She was only in her mid-30s. And they're telling her now, your uterus is too weak to, carry a baby. Which is disheartening. Even though that's only part of the situation. But you see what having surgeries over and over again can cause, right? And also, too, not only did she have like a uterus that was not strong enough to carry a baby, she also had uterine scarring due to these surgeries. Because that's what they're not going to tell you, okay? That these surgeries, these myomectomy procedures also cause uterine scarring, especially if you're getting it more than once. But there's women that had just the surgery one time and had uterine scarring. And that can also cause issues with getting pregnant, right? There's a lot of women that are dealing with, uterine adhesions due to having these uterine surgeries. So you have to be, I want to say careful, but you have to understand the whole entire picture before you make a decision about your fibroids, especially if you're going to go the surgical route, which I would recommend nobody do, right? And that's somebody that, again, we've saved so many women over the years we've saved them from having hysterectomies. We've saved them from having myomectomies and so many other things, right? From having UFE procedures. There's a lot of women that came to me, listen, there's a woman that came on like a week or 2 ago, as a matter of fact, that came on this live stream that literally said that because of what I learned in your course, I got rid of 3 fibroids and I canceled my surgery. Literally. So it's important that you understand that. How can we balance our hormones to get rid of fibroids? I talk about that. I will talk about that in fullness in my masterclass that's coming up, the Winter Hormone Reset Masterclass. That's this Sunday. We'll go through the whole entire process. And not only to help you get rid of fibroids, to help you have healthier periods, to help you as well be able to restore your fertility, because you have to balance your hormones in order to do that, right? And so many other things, okay? So we'll talk about that in the masterclass. So be sure to sign up. Actually, as a matter of fact, today's the last day to sign up on using our early bird rates. So it's only, I think, $111 right now. tomorrow it'll go back to the regular price, okay? So if you want to get on early bird, masterclass is actually, what is it, Sunday, this Sunday, the 14th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be on Zoom, okay? Can they can heal from uterine scarring? Yes, they can. Is that the question you're trying to ask? Are you asking whether you can heal from uterine scarring? You can. The natural way, though. See, and this is the part where, and I've had clients that have came to me that have healed their uterine scarring from previous surgeries. As a matter of fact, the woman that I just actually posted this woman on my community tab. If you're watching on YouTube, go to the community tab after this live. I posted someone that not only did she get pregnant by working with me, she also healed, got rid of fibroids, she got rid of her uterine scarring, she got rid of adenomyosis and so many other health conditions, right? So, and raised her AMH levels, so on and so forth. So read about her whole story if you go to the community tab, right? You see her pregnancy picture. She struggled with years to get pregnant, years. Any solution for the scars in the womb after myomectomy, you have to heal them naturally, because if you go the surgical route, unfortunately, they do have surgery for that or other things that no, don't do that. That's going to cause more scarring, right? So that's important. Yes, Juju, please continue liking. Y'all like the live. We want to get to 10,000 likes, okay? When will you know that the fibroids goes away? Before we get into the topic, okay, that's a great question, okay? What are the natural ways from scarring? I'll talk about that in my Detoxify Your Womb program in the 3-month intensive. Be sure to find out more about that, okay? Let's keep going. When would you know the fibroids goes away? Getting an ultrasound or MRI for sure. That will be for sure how you will know. Right now, there's some women that don't want to go that route, and I totally understand. You don't have to, because that's radiation and things like that. But your periods get better. Your if you have a fibroid belly, which a lot of women have, that lower belly hardness, that goes all the way down, right? Your periods are a lot better. You don't have any period symptoms. You just, like I said, your hormones are balanced, and you don't have you got to start listening. You guys have to start listening to your body's signals, and I'm going to teach about that in the masterclass as well. Okay. So let's get into it. So let's get into the topics. I feel like I'm just rambling away. I'm going to answer questions, but is it best to continue the same diet after they're gone? Yes, absolutely. What happens, and don't just think about this Juju as something because Juju has the course, by the way, the vaults, okay? The Advanced Fibroid Healing Mastery Vault. I know she just got it, and I hope that you are actually implementing what you're learning. However, when it comes to, you don't want to think about this as, I'm just going to do it for a little bit so my fibroids will go away. No, think about this as a new way of living, okay? As a new way of living. Now, let's talk about it. So, what can fibroids cause? What can continuously ignoring your fibroids, what can it cause in the future, right? And some of you guys may have already experienced this or be experiencing this right now, okay? How can I join the masterclass? So there's no masterclass for the scarring in the uterus. There's a masterclass for hormone reset. If you want to join the program where you're working with me, because that's not just something you could do, healing. If you're healing scar tissue, that's going to take at least 3 to 6 months. My clients that were able to do it were working with me for 6 months. That's in my Detoxify Your Womb program, okay? Detoxify Your Womb program, okay? So if you have uterus scarring, you have fibroids, any of these womb issues, Detoxify Your Womb program where you're working with me, okay? Now, what can fibroids cause when we don't address it, when we ignore it, when we continuously ignore it? Fibroids can cause infertility. Let's be real. And some of you guys already know that. And some of you guys have maybe be already struggling with getting pregnant right now. And I always say, don't allow fibroids to, steal your dreams of motherhood, because guess what? You can shrink and dissolve fibroids, okay? Can I join from Africa? Yes, we've had clients all over the world. You can join from anywhere in the world. If you're talking about the masterclass, absolutely. As long as you have Zoom, the Winter Hormone Reset Masterclass, you can join. So fibroids also can cause reoccurring miscarriages, because it's, depending on the location, right? This is why I tell women, y'all, especially if you want to have children, do not ignore these fibroids. Shrink and dissolve them now. Get to the root cause of the problem. Don't put them, I know that women, especially, I know that, when you're successful, you have a career, you got things going on, you have some of you guys have families, and it can really, like I said, it can really you may not think about your you may think of that addressing your fibroids. You're just too busy. You just continue putting it off. Oh, I'll do it. I'll address it later. But here's the thing, ladies. It's it's still there. And I used to do this too. Pretend I was too busy to address my fibroids, but it's still there in the back of your mind. You still think about it at night. You still think about it when your period comes on and it's horrible. Come on now. So stop. And this is where we get fibroids that grow and continuously grow and multiply. And we don't want that. I don't want to see you having a fibroid the size of a watermelon, which is not as uncommon as you think. It's not as uncommon as you think. So if you don't address your fibroids now, at least start the process now, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Because some of you guys, you probably had a smaller fibroid last year or a couple years ago, the last time you checked, and now they're bigger. Or now they're more. They started off 2 centimeters, then they're 5 centimeters, and then they started off at just 1, and now they're 2 or 3 or 4. We don't want that. We don't want that, right? So it's important that you understand. So you have to start addressing these fibroids. Now, infertility, we talked about recurrent miscarriages, also anemia. Y'all, and a lot of you guys don't take anemia serious enough, and that just literally your vital organs are not getting enough oxygen when you're anemic. Do you know that? If you're anemic and you talk about getting rid of fibroids, first of all, you have to raise your iron levels first. That's number one. That's why in the Advanced Fibroid Healing Mastery Vault, that's one of the trainings, healing anemia. And it's not, and you have, like I said, you have to repair the gut, because if we're not getting enough iron in our body, that gut is backed up. If you have fibroids, by default, your gut is backed up. But what's going on with that gut? That's the reason why you're not able to absorb iron. And you think that these iron infusions, that these things are helping, but you're going back to being anemic. No. Anemia, which also puts stress on the heart and your vital organs. Your body deteriorates when you continuously have anemia, when you continuously go along the world anemic. Ask me how I know. I used to have chest pains in my 20s because of anemia. Thank God I used to look so pale, because you're losing so much blood. So the longer you have fibroids, the more anemic you're going to be, because they start growing, and you start bleeding more and more and more. Some of you guys, you weren't bleeding. You're bleeding more now than you were a couple years ago or a year ago, because the fibroids are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the toxic load in the body is increasing. So anemia is one. Your menstrual cycles are getting heavier. That's another thing too. So maybe we were bleeding, for 5 days before, and maybe like 2 of those days was heavy. Now it's 7 to 10 days, and 3 to 4 of those days are so heavy. Some of you guys, you bleed so much you can't even leave the house. When you're on your heavy days, that's not normal. It's not normal to have heavy days on your cycle. It's not normal. Okay? Let's quickly get that one out. Let's settle that. And I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. I'm saying this to let you know, listen, we have to take action now. We cannot allow this to be our life and create a new normal around it. Some of you guys have created a new normal around fibroids, and it's making you miserable. Ask me how I know. This used to be me. So I'm trying to save y'all. Painful intercourse is also, fibroids can cause that, because again, due to the location of the fibroid, but as they start growing, intercourse gets uncomfortable. Your menstrual cycles start getting longer and longer and heavier, and that's more blood loss. That's more stress on the heart and the other vital organs, right? Then we have this thing called a distorted uterus. The uterus is misshapen. A lot of you guys have enlarged uterus due to fibroids, right? A lot of you guys, and I say this, having a large uterus when you're not pregnant it becomes a dangerous situation. It's harder to get pregnant. Right? It also causes the more your uterus is large, it starts pressing on other organs. Your uterus, when you're pregnant, your body will compensate for that, right? Your body knows you're pregnant, but when you have an enlarged uterus due to fibroids, it's different. So this is why a lot of you guys, your fibroids are pressing on your bladder, they're pressing on your kidneys, and causing you to have urinary issues, having to go to the bathroom over and over again, frequently. Feeling as though you can't make it to the bathroom sometimes because that fibroid is pressing on your bladder. Okay? So it can cause issues with frequent urination, urinary issues. And a lot of you guys are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s. You're not supposed to be having urinary issues. You're never really supposed to have that. That's a whole nother conversation. You're not supposed to be having that. Also, too, kidney damage, because again, pressing on vital organs as the uterus starts to grow. Even nerve damage as well. And that's what a lot of people don't know. They have a nerve in the groin called the iliac nerve that once your fibroid presses on that, it causes tingling in your lower extremities. It causes issues with the heart. This is why a lot of women, like I said, they have issues with their fingers, like tingling sensation in their fingers and their lower extremities, right? And they don't know that because of that fibroid is pressing on that nerve. And that could cause you to collapse. That could cause you to faint. So it's not a joke. And I'm not saying this so you can be scared. I'm saying this so you know that you have to take action. A lot of you guys, if you really make a decision, 2025 could be the last year you deal with fibroids. And I know that the year's almost over, but you don't be scared. This live is not to scare you. It's to make you aware so that you start taking action towards your healing. You stop sweeping it under the rug, because sweeping fibroids under the rug continuously is an act of, it's like, how can I say this in a nice way, right? I don't want to offend anybody. It's a lack of self-love. I know because I've done that. Surgery is not the action you want to take. You want to actually get to the root cause of the problem, Lou. So, with surgery, it will come back over and over again. I just told you guys earlier about the woman that had the 5 myomectomies. That's actually the worst thing that you could do. That's not a cure for fibroids. Surgery temporarily removes the fibroids, but it doesn't address the hormonal imbalance that you have when you have fibroids. It doesn't address the congested lymphatic system. It doesn't address the overloaded liver, the overloaded elimination organs. It doesn't address the backed up gut. This is why you regrow the fibroids right back, right? Some of you guys have probably, let me know in the chat, have you been through that? Put a 1 in the chat if you've regrew fibroids again after surgery. Okay, it's very common. Majority of women that have surgery regrow them again. Same thing with UFE. So it doesn't make any sense. Okay, we have somebody that said 1. It doesn't make any sense why you guys are still signing up for these surgeries when your body is literally a self-healing mechanism. Your body can shrink and dissolve a fibroid, but you have to get out of your body's way. You got to address what actually caused the fibroid what actually caused the fibroid to occur. You got to address that, right? The hormonal imbalances, the toxic overload in the body, right? The inflammation that we're dealing with in the body. You got to get your body out of a state of stress. My OBGYN told me to get surgery. Surgeons sell surgery, hon. Surgeons sell surgery, right? Of course they're going to say get surgery. That's how they were taught to heal the body. That's not even healing. Surgeons weren't, okay, so your OBGYN was not taught to heal. She was taught to continuously suppress the problem by meds or surgery, right? They were not taught to heal. So if y'all still going to OBGYN, I'm so sorry. Why? For fibroids? Why? I'm asking you a question. Why y'all keep going? Because they're going to tell you either the surgery, birth control, or medications. They ain't got nothing else for you. So why we continue? We know that they're going to try to schedule us or to take out our uterus. Don't let anybody take out your uterus. Don't let anybody take out your organs. Okay? Why my doctor never told me this unbelievable. I had a myomectomy in 2023. Let me tell you something, Miss Perry, and everybody else. Doctors are not there to heal you. So I know that we've been taught that, but they're not there to heal. They're not even taught how to heal the body. They're taught to suppress the issue, to help you manage the issue, to help you prescribe you medications, surgeries. They're not taught to heal. And when it comes to women's reproductive health, doctors have dropped the ball. Doctors have significantly dropped the ball, unfortunately. Had 1 myomectomy in 2023, now I have scars in my uterus. I'm going to pin this comment because women don't know that myomectomies cause scarring. When I say that, people get surprised. It does cause scarring in the uterus. If you are actually cutting into something, the uterus, it will cause scarring. I don't know why. And some of you guys want to have babies. What are we doing? And I'm not trying to blame anybody because, like I said, I've had it too. But they grew back, right? And that's why I'm on my journey to heal the body. I knew that, listen, if they told me to do something and it grows back, why am I listening to them? They're only doing what they were taught in medical school, right? Which, don't get me started. But they're working for a system that's not there to heal you. Now, I'm not saying if you break your leg, don't go to the doctor. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying for your reproductive health, why are you going? Because they literally have 3 options for you: surgery, birth control, or medications. Surgery, birth control, medications. What other options do they have? Or taking out your whole uterus. What other option do they have? So then why we keep going to them to ask them for advice about what to do for our fibroids? I'm just asking. Why? Have they healed anybody? Have they healed anybody of fibroids? Besides taking it out just to have them regrow it again? And again, you're not addressing the root causes. What root causes could they be? So if we're dealing with fibroids, we're dealing with our elimination pathways are blocked. So your body is dealing with lots of toxins in the body. So if we have fibroids, right? Our liver, our kidneys, our body's filtration system is congested, is overloaded with waste. Our bodies are overloaded with waste when we're dealing with fibroids. Thank you, Juju, for liking the video. We're trying to get to 10,000 likes, okay? Your body's overloaded with waste. We're dealing with, your hormones are completely out of balance, and not just your sex hormones, a series of hormonal imbalances, right? Your body cannot grow a tumor if your body's not ridden with waste. Your body's in a state of stress as well. It's a lot going on when we got fibroids. The lymphatic system is all congested. No, they haven't. She told me to have a hysterectomy, I started crying. They told me to have a hysterectomy in my 20s. Don't ever sometimes that's the first thing they tell Black women. There's an agenda behind that, but I'm gonna leave that one alone. Leave that one alone. They love telling Black women have a hysterectomy. I'm not saying only Black women, but it's very interesting to me. But anyway, you have to know as a Black woman that you are, when it comes to medical racism is real. This is to everybody, honestly. I feel as though there's a prejudice even just to women in general. Men, they're not telling men to take out their parts. They're not telling men to take out their parts, but they love telling women to take out their parts. You have to stop falling for that. And if they did tell men to take out their parts, they wouldn't fall for it. Men love themselves too much. They wouldn't fall for it. You are speaking facts. I healed myself of bleeding after 10 years of menopause, dieting. Yeah. Hysterectomy makes you go into early menopause. Please don't. It does. And your hormones start completely collapsing. When you have, your body's already filled with toxins, and then you take out a vital organ. Oh my gosh. The women that have done that are going through hell. We're going to talk about that. So what else does fibroids lead to when it's not addressed? Nerve damage. I talk about nerve damage. Also, for y'all that want to have children, I don't care if you want to have children now or next year or 10 years from now, ever. Pregnancy. Fibroids cause pregnancy complications. By default, if you're pregnant with fibroids, that's a high-risk pregnancy. This is why I don't understand why women are actively actually trying when they know they have fibroids. Why aren't you healing your body first? Why aren't you getting the body healthy first before that? Okay, is it good to eat a vegan? I'm assuming you mean eat a vegan diet. Yes and no. Because vegan is filled with soy. So actually, let me say no. Eat a womb healing diet. Okay? Can scars in the womb after myomectomy heal? Yes, they can. Okay, be sure to read my client testimonial. If you go to I have several, but go to the link in my bio, you'll see my client's case study. Not only did she get rid of her fibroids, not only did she actually was able to have a child after years of infertility, she also healed her uterine scarring. And that's not the only client that's happened to. There's another one too that I helped get rid of fibroids, endometriosis, and adenomyosis. She had huge adhesions in her womb, and she only had one surgery, one myomectomy. Completely gone. Her adhesions, her endometriomas, her blood-filled cysts, completely gone. Okay? So read about our testimonials. The human body is very powerful when you give it what it needs. And take away the things that are causing it to, like I said, dysfunction, that are causing it to, be congested and build up waste and build up toxins. So I just want to reiterate that. So, like I said earlier, there's a lot that can happen. There's a lot of breakdown in your health that happens when you have fibroids, when you don't actually address them, when you continuously sweep it under the rug. Fibroids, like I said earlier, can grow the size of a football. We had a client that actually, as a matter of fact, she had a fibroid the size of a football. And you can see the picture. She looked like she was 9 months pregnant. It went from the size of a football to a 6-centimeter fibroid in just a few months. Okay? That was with our Advanced Fibroid Healing Mastery Vault, by the way. So we have that testimonial. With that, you can see her huge fibroid belly, and you can see the after picture where her belly went down significantly. So FYI. But anyway, your fibroid can grow the size of a football, basketball, even watermelon, the size of a watermelon, when it's left unaddressed. There's some women that have had fibroids for years and their fibroids are that large. Their fibroids are that large. As a matter of fact, it's not as uncommon as you think. There's a woman that come on here sometimes that come and say, my fibroid is the size of a watermelon, my fibroid is the size of a this, it's just, y'all, do not sweep these fibroids under the rug. And I'm not saying this so you can work with me. I'm saying this just so you can understand what could happen when you do not address your fibroids. Do not just think that they will go away magically. They're not. You have to address them. You got to wake up. Stop saying, oh, I'll deal with them next year. I'll deal with them. No. Deal with them now. Right? So it's important, right? And I get it. Let's talk about what rearranging your life around fibroids, what is actually costing you. Because a lot of us, when we start to put that into perspective, then we will understand what's really going on. Okay? So what is you actually rearranging your life around your fibroids? What is that costing you? You have an appointment today for what, Rosalind? Okay. Lost energy, number one, because a lot of you guys, because due to the anemia, due to the heavy bleeding, you wake up depleted even after. I know I'm talking to people. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Even after a full night's sleep, you feel depleted. You feel this tiredness, exhaustion, this fatigue that won't go away because of that heavy bleeding, because of those fibroids, right? Because the fibroid starts to drain your life force. It doesn't just, it does more than just sit there. It starts to drain your life force, especially as the longer that you've had them, right? So you feel depleted. You feel exhausted. Love knowing what I'm talking about. You guys, and it's I know that a lot of you guys do know what I'm talking about because you felt that, okay? You also are operating, when you have fibroids, when you start rearranging your life around your fibroids instead of addressing them, you start to operate at half your capacity. Let me explain. So a lot of you guys are high achieving women. You have great careers, right? You have great jobs. You have, great friendship circle. You have a great social life, You have a lot going on, but you're not fully present. Some of you guys are mothers. You're not fully present, right? Because it's like you have to struggle through your work. You have to struggle through your business. You have to struggle through your relationships, through motherhood. It's like a struggle. And it's like because you're so exhausted. So it's like you're not operating at your full capacity in life. You're operating at about 50%. You're just trying to push through the day instead of actually being present. Because you're so in pain, you're bleeding so much, you're dealing with, having to go to the bathroom often due to these fibroids, right? Having these fibroids press on the bladder, right? It keeps you in survival mode instead of you actually being present and enjoying your life. I know because I was there, okay? I understand now that, and you're empowering me. Good. I'm happy that this is empowering you, and I want it to also propel you to take action as well. Anybody watching this, not just empower you to help you take action, okay? It's important. Also, too, when we got fibroids, can we talk about the missed opportunities? Let's talk about the missed opportunities, because I don't know about you guys, but there was trips I had to cancel because it was around my period, and my period was so bad. I couldn't even, there were canceled trips, delayed goals. A lot of you guys haven't normalized this. I remember my client, one of my former clients, right? She went on 2 vacations in a month, right? I think one was in the country, one was out of the country, I think. In 1 month, this was over the summertime. And she was crying because she was like, this is the first time I could go on 2 vacations in a month. Because previously, before she started working with me, her periods were so bad. So she had to plan her life around her period. She was like, I don't have to worry about that. I could just go on vacation and say, I want to go on these dates. I don't have to worry about my period and say, okay, when is my period coming? It has to be around. She don't have to worry about that because your period is light and it doesn't have any symptoms. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Thank God. I don't have to worry about that anymore. You could just go. You don't have to worry about wearing certain clothes. I got to wear black clothes and dark clothes in my period or dark pants. If that is you, your period is way too heavy. That's not normal. A lot of us have normalized toxicity. And we start, again, planning our life around our periods. I couldn't attend Girls Night last month because my cycle was heavy. See, parent, I want to free you from that. I know what that feels like. I want to free you from allowing your period to dictate your life. Y'all, let's not make that our normal. Let's say this is the last year we're going to deal with that. The year's almost up. So normalize pain, toxicity, putting others first. Listen, Giovanni, listen, yeah. Normalizing pain on your cycle. And let me tell you something too. When you start, a lot of you guys were brainwashed into normalizing pain as, you know, when you first got your period. A lot of you, your mothers told you, oh, it's normal for it to be painful. You're going to have to deal with this for the rest of your life. So you were taught from a young age to normalize pain. And guess what? That spills into other areas of your life. This is why women will, if you tolerate pain, on their period. A lot of women also tolerate pain in their relationships. They also tolerate pain in their workplaces and how others treat them. Okay? So when you start tolerating pain in one area, it starts to spill out in other areas of your life as well. Pain is not normal. Pain is not normal. A lot of women would tolerate pain in other areas of their lives too. Yes to the workplace, exactly. And normalize it. And normalize it for years. For a year. And hemorrhaging is not normal. Pain is not normal. You being bloated on your period is not normal. And I know when I say that and you're going through that, you could think I'm crazy, but no. When you get your hormones in balance, your period just comes. Your period just it doesn't come with all of this theatrics and all of it. It just comes. It just comes with no symptoms. And it's light. It's not supposed to be heavy. Y'all know that, right? Yeah, bleeding through a pad in 30 minutes, not normal. Listen, even if it's 1 hour or 2 hours, bleeding through a pad in that time, it's not normal. Your period is not supposed to be heavy, ladies. As somebody that went through a lot of her life, not a few years of her life with a heavy period, that took away some years of my life. Because that's some of you guys are having your period a whole week, 10 days. Ask yourself how much, when you calculate that for an entire year, and ask yourself, that's about 12 weeks, 3 months, a whole, like that you're bleeding and in pain and it doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't be bleeding for 14 days. You shouldn't have it for 2 weeks. Dang, that's a long period. No, we have to do, Rosalind, you can't accept that as normal. You have to do something. 14 days, 2 weeks of bleeding is not normal, ladies. I'm shaking you right now. Okay, virtually. That's not normal. You have to stop accepting that. You have to get to the root of the issue. Okay? Y'all gotta stop. Even 1 week is too much to bleed. That is hemorrhaging. When your body is healthy, it won't be more than 3 to maybe 4 days. And you're not supposed to see brown blood. You have to get to the root of the issue. So let's talk about it. You talked about missed opportunities that occur when you have fibroids. Okay? Canceled vacations, canceled girls' nights. You can't do this and that because you're going to be on your period. You can't go to this Christmas party because you're going to be... So you're missing out on life. Your period is causing you to miss out on life. No. Y'all got to stop that. Hormonal imbalances. When you have fibroids, your hormones are out of balance. When you have fibroids, your hormones are out of balance. Let me say that again. When you have fibroids, your hormones are out of balance. When you're bleeding, when you have heavy bleeding, your hormones are out of balance. When you have PCOS, ovarian cysts, well, people that have PCOS know, but when it comes to fibroids, women don't understand that their hormones are also out of balance. When you have these issues, your hormones are out of balance. Your hormones are out of balance, okay? Fibroids, a lot of people, like I said, they just think it's just the fibroids. No. We're dealing with fibroids is a full body issue. It's not just a uterine issue. So you're dealing with estrogen dominance. You're dealing with cortisol spikes. You're dealing with adrenal fatigue. Okay? We have a series of hormones that are out of balance, not just estrogen. This is why we're having, by the way, we're having our winter hormone reset to help you completely restore your hormonal balance. So if you have horrible periods, you need to be there. If you have fibroids, you need to be there. Or any other womb issue, you need to be there. Endometriosis, adenomyosis too. Yes, you need to be there. It's going to be on Zoom. And today's the last day to get it on early bird rate, to join with the early bird rates of $111, okay? So you get lifetime access to the replay. It's going to be at 2 o'clock. It's going to be Q&A in there as well. I'm going to teach you how to fully restore your hormonal balance on Sunday. I'm so excited, by the way. 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you have not registered for our winter hormone reset, register, okay? Register as soon as you can. Today's the last day for the early bird rate, by the way. Tomorrow after midnight, it goes up to when is your next, hold on one second. After midnight, it goes up to the next, that's my train of thought, sorry. After midnight, it goes up to the regular price, the winter hormone reset, okay? So hi, Sasha, when is your next 6-week program? FC, you can join now. The link is in my bio. The 6-week womb healing experience, you can actually join now. So we're not, the next round won't be until January, but you can join now. You'll be working with me, okay? This is actually a great time to join when it's off the round. You still get 6 weeks and you get more attention, okay? So FYI, the 6-week womb healing experience is open. So yeah, you can join now. The link is in my bio. All right, so we talked about hormonal imbalances. Listen, I was if you were on my email, if you were on, I posted this actually on the community tab as well. But I talked about how hormonal balance, it spills out to your moods. You're welcome, FC. Your moods. It affects your brain chemistry. It affects your fertility. Hormonal imbalance affects your skin, your breast health. Come on now. When your hormones are imbalanced, oh my gosh, you look the most beautiful that you'll ever be. When your hormones are imbalanced, right? Skin glowing, hair healthy, nails, all of this, nails, healthy nails. When your hormones are out of balance, right? We look all pale, lack of color, right? You see it, and also you feel it in your, it's not even just an aesthetic thing. It's also your mood. This is why a lot of you guys have anxiety and depression. Yes. Hormonal imbalance. You can control that. As somebody that used to deal with anxiety, okay? Heavy anxiety. So you see it in your weight, even the shape of your body. When your hormones are out of balance, you see, so hormonal balance is very important. Very, very important. Another reason why hormonal balance is extremely important is because guess what? We are now at a time where these cancers, these uterine cancer, breast cancer, that hormonal imbalance, it starts off with hormonal imbalance, estrogen dominance to be exact, right? So ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer. So when we balance our hormones, not only do we feel better, we also lower our risk of certain cancers significantly. Okay, I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know. And I write articles about this all the time. If you follow my Sacred Womb Letters, the link is in my bio. If you want to follow it, you can either get on the free tier or you can get on the paid tier where I actually go into frameworks on, frameworks that I talk about to my clients. I think the paid tier is only like $22 a month, FYI. So if you want to check that out, more information about that, the link is in my bio. Subscribe to our Sacred Womb Letters. Also, too, if you're watching from YouTube, if you want to subscribe to the Sacred Womb Letters, the link is in my description box, okay? So let's talk about it. And speaking of hormonal imbalance, ladies, if you have fibroids and you haven't addressed it, you're gonna deal, I don't know how old you guys are, but you'll deal with this thing called perimenopause. And you're probably wondering, well, everybody deals with perimenopause. No. I'm here to tell you, as a holistic womb specialist that also helps women rebalance their hormones. Perimenopause is when your hormones are out of balance. It's when you're dealing with toxic overload. It is not due to your age. There's women in their 20s having all the symptoms of perimenopause with hormones that are out of balance. When you get your body healthy, when you heal your hormones, when you get your body out of this state of toxic overload, when you actually, like I said, address your hormones, when you rebalance your hormones, all of the perimenopausal symptoms go away. All of those symptoms of perimenopause go away. You know how many clients I've had that said, okay, they told me I was in perimenopause, as well as having fibroids, right? And not only do their fibroid symptoms go away, not only do their fibroids shrink and dissolve, also their perimenopausal symptoms go away. You guys have to stop accepting that because you're a certain age, you're supposed to be sick. Because that's really what perimenopause is. It's toxic overload. So y'all gotta stop claiming that over your life. My body needs it. My elimination pathways are overloaded. My body, they need support. That's what perimenopause means. My hormones are out of balance, right? All of these years of birth control, a lot of you guys were doing the birth control, the poor diet, the stress, not putting yourself first. That's what caused the perimenopause. Your body's like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I can't take this anymore after years and decades of doing this, of not taking care of it properly. That's what perimenopause is. So if you have fibroids that you have not addressed, perimenopause will slap you in the face and it will last long. 10 to 15 years of suffering. That's not normal. But when you get to the root cause of your fibroids, when you shrink and dissolve your fibroids, when you heal your hormones, all the symptoms, every symptom goes away. Every single symptom of perimenopause goes away. Even the anxiety, even the ADHD, the lack of focus, that all goes away. It's because your hormones are out of balance. It's not ADHD, it's your hormones are out of balance. It's not brain fog, your hormones are out of balance. You're dealing with toxic overload. Hormonal imbalance affects all of your body's functions, from your brain to your uterus, even your heart. So do you really want to go suffer through 15 to 20 years of irregular bleeding, instability, exhaustion? Okay. Now, when you don't address your fibroids, and a lot of you ladies, you're feeling that now. You go through emotional burnout. Because when we have fibroids, we're not just physically going through fibroids, we're also emotionally holding on to a lot. Because fibroids they're not just physical tumors, they're also emotional. They're also proof that we've been suppressing a lot of our emotions. We've been suppressing a lot of our emotions, and we've been wearing a lot of our emotions. So that grief, that pain, those heartbreaks, you're wearing them. You're suppressing them. And when you suppress something, the body keeps score. So you may think, oh, it was a long time ago. But the body keeps score if you don't process through this stuff and address it. Okay? So fibroids are not just physical tumors. They're also emotional tumors, emotional waste that we have to process through and release. This is why when you're working with me, it's not just physically what to do, diet, this, that. No. We also do the emotional work too, the hard stuff. But guess what? At the end of it, you feel so much better. You feel so much lighter within, right? So it's not just, a lot of you guys majority of women that have fibroids, they're not just physically tired. They're also emotionally tired. They're overwhelmed because guess what? Let's call a spade a spade. When you're dealing with womb issues, ladies, first of all, when your hormones are out of balance, that means that you're out of balance in your life. Nothing is separate. Everything's connected. When your hormones are out of balance, you are out of balance. So there's areas of overwhelm. You're dealing with overwhelm, emotional exhaustion. You're people pleasing. You're not setting up boundaries. Your life is also out of balance. Your body will reflect what's going on in your life. So when we talk about the womb, your sacred womb space, your uterus, your sacred, feminine vaults, right? Garden, whatever you want to call it, right? The womb is not just a physical organ. It's also a spiritual organ. So when there's something wrong with the womb, what does that mean? That means that's a reflection of what's going on in your life. So if we're heavily bleeding, we got fibroids, we got all these issues with the womb, that means that we're also dealing with overwhelm, unhappiness, blocked creativity, stagnation in our lives, right? There's unhappiness, there's unfulfillment. The unhappiness could be in our relationships, or it could be in our work. Somehow, some way, our life is out of balance, right? So years of, like I said, being in fight or flight, years of, pushing through and trying to get through the day and actually existing, not living, but existing, that does take a toll on your body. That does cause emotional burnout, not just physical burnout, also emotional burnout. So when you fail to address your fibroids, like I said, that's what it costs. Now let's talk about fertility issues. We talked about fertility and fibroids yesterday, but let's talk about fertility issues, because when we don't address our fibroids and we know we want to get pregnant, it doesn't make any sense. Because like I said, when you deal with fibroids, it automatically, and you trying to get pregnant, it automatically causes a high-risk pregnancy. Your body's not healthy to conceive when you have fibroids. Even if you can conceive, you increase the risk of miscarriages, recurring miscarriages. So you may not be trying right now, because some women, they don't want to have children right now, which is totally fine, or ever, right? But fibroids can create fertility issues. And as a matter of, we know that fibroids can distort the uterus, okay? Disrupt implantation. So the longer you allow the fibroids to go on, it gets worse and worse and worse. If you have let's say a 2 centimeter fibroid, right? And you allow it to get to the size of a watermelon, which some women have done, and you know you want to have children in the future, don't you think that's going to present a problem? A huge problem? Don't you think that is actually extremely risky? And as a matter of fact, I talked about this yesterday. If you want to rewatch my replay of the fibroid, it's called Fibroids and Fertility, What No One Tells You. We talked about this yesterday. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you need to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can do so by clicking the link in my bio if you're watching from TikTok. What I said yesterday is that when you have fibroids, again, it's a full body issue. Your hormones are out of balance. You're dealing with a toxic overload. And yes, we can pass this to the baby. You also, when you have a womb filled with fibroids or a fibroid, that's not the right time to get pregnant. What needs to be done is that we need to get our body, take 3 to 6 months, get your body healthy, take some time to shrink and dissolve that fibroid, restore your hormonal balance, and then get pregnant. While we get pregnant, knowing our body is filled with toxicity, it doesn't make any sense. Knowing that we're putting ourselves, our babies at risk. And I'm not saying that you can't get pregnant with having a fibroid, but what kind of pregnancy is it? Don't we want to become pregnant being the healthiest versions of ourselves, not falling apart? I mean, this is going to be hard for some people to hear, but it's the truth. Okay? So you want to get your body prepared for pregnancy. You want to get your body prepared for, I'm happy you guys understand, because a lot of women, because we're not taught to think that way, we don't get it. Your body should be at its optimal level of health before you bring life forth into this world. Not just even physically, also emotionally. Let's stop creating generational illnesses and generational trauma. Can we stop? And you wonder why everybody in the family have period problems and fibroids and, is cutting out their uterus. That's not normal. Somebody has to break the curse. Why can't it be you? Why can't it be you? Why can't it be you? Now let's talk about strained relationships and higher risk of divorces when we have fibroids. I'm not saying, I know a lot of you guys have amazing fiancés, boyfriends, husbands, right? That understand what you're going through. But when we have fibroids also too, there's this thing called, we're dealing with hormonal imbalance, right? So again, that causes us not to, to be more anxious, to not have as much patience, right? That can cause relationship issues, okay? Even if you don't mean to, but your hormones are out of balance, right? As a matter of fact, studies even show that hormonal imbalance can cause us to continuously pick the wrong partners, but that's a whole other rabbit hole. I'm not even trying to go through, right? So how can you truly connect with somebody on a deeper level when your hormones are all over the place? How? It does cause, exactly, intimacy issues. Thank you for mentioning that. Fibroids do cause intimacy issues as well, especially, you're bleeding all the time, painful sex, you're bleeding after sex. Oh my gosh. You can't even enjoy your sex life. And then let's not even talk about this. If you have a huge fibroid belly, you don't even feel like yourself. Even if you have an understanding husband, partner, whatever, still, you don't feel like yourself. You feel like it's going to affect your sex life, your intimacy, like your marriage as well. So strained relationships and higher risk of divorces is very real when you have fibroids, okay? It's very real. There's going to be you feel disconnected from you when you have fibroids. So imagine, how can we connect to others when we are disconnected from self? You can't. Been there, right? So it's important. So if you continue ignoring your fibroids, you're going to suffer. You raise the risk of suffering from more surgeries, more symptoms, more suffering, right? You invite more suffering into your life. Worse periods, bigger fibroids, more symptoms. So if you're watching this, know that the time is now. We're about to cross over to the new year, 2026. And if you really started now, or started now, because if you want to shift your life, you start right before the new year. People that are serious about, and actually studies show this, people that are serious about changing their life, and also too, that they don't wait for the new year. People that wait for the new year, they give up within less than 30 days. So if you're serious about shifting your life, you're starting now. You're starting before the new year. You're not going to start, oh, next year, next month. Stop. So if we know that we have fibroids, let's start addressing them. Let's start getting to the root cause of the problem. Let's start healing our hormones. Let's start addressing the toxic overload in our body. Let's start dealing with our stress levels. Let's start doing the emotional work. Let's start changing our diet. Let's start putting ourselves first, putting up boundaries. Not just allowing people to, infringe all up in our boundaries. Not just being people pleasers. I've been planning for my next myomectomy, but not as of today. We saved another womb. Yes, I know that's right. And this is why I do these lives. You have the power of healing your body. And Perry, if I'm not mistaken, you had a myomectomy before. So the fact that we're preventing, I think that was somebody else that commented, I'm not sure. The fact that we're preventing another one, I'm so proud of you. And I hope that we're saving more and more women for scheduling these myomectomies and hysterectomies. And if you are, yes, this would have been my second one. Perry, it didn't work the first time. So that should be confirmation right there. We're not gonna sign up for it again. And I love the fact that you made that decision today. So I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of anybody else that's watching from the background that made that decision, that their bodies are very powerful. You can heal yourself. You're talking to somebody that's got rid of an 8-centimeter fibroid and has helped multiple women. At this point, hundreds, if you talk about our courses as well as women that I've worked with over the years, all over the world. We've had clients in Jamaica, in other parts of the Caribbean, all over the US, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, even had a client in Kenya, Netherlands, India. Women are suffering all over the world from this, literally all over the world. And the reason why it breaks my heart, number one, because I've been through it, and I know what fibroids does to women, especially women that's had fibroids for a long period of time. And some of you guys are just being diagnosed not long ago, and the symptoms are already bad. They started off bad, okay? But if your symptoms, whether your symptoms are bad or not, you have to address your fibroids. If not, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And your body, thank you so much. I feel like crying listening to you. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I'm so happy. We've saved another womb. We've saved another womb. I'm so happy to hear that. And I want you to understand that, again, your body's a self-healing mechanism. You don't have to go through surgery to remove tumors. Your body can dissolve them. Your body can shrink and dissolve them. But we have to get out of our body way. Your body's always trying to heal you, and you have to get out of this way. It's not, you didn't develop fibroids because your body hates you, your body's betraying you. No, you develop fibroids because of the amount of waste in your body, because your body's congested, because your body's trying to get your attention, right? Because it could have been worse. It could have been cancer. But by getting rid of fibroids by the natural way, by doing the work to heal your hormones, by doing the work to reduce the toxic load over your body, we also decrease the risk drastically of so many other more serious health issues. So I say all this to say, listen, do not stop ignoring your fibroids. Start addressing your fibroids. And if you need help, I have a few things for you. Somebody mentioned the 6-week program, the 6-week womb healing experience. So if you are interested in that, the link is in my bio. I'm also pushing right now our 3-month intensive. If you want to work with me 3 months of the first 3 months of 2026, you have to be committed, because I don't play. but I help you through the process of healing your body, and it's personalized just to you. You work with me in our high-level program, in our Detoxify Your Womb program for 3 months. This program has not only helped women dissolve their fibroids, it's helped women reverse endometriosis, adenomyosis, it's helped women get pregnant naturally, it's helped women dissolve uterine scarring, and so many other, it's helped women heal from uterine prolapse. It's helped women that were bleeding for 6 months every single day to heal their wombs, and so many other things, so many other testimonies that we've had over the years. So if you're ready to work with me, that's the best way to work with me, is joining the 3-month the Detoxify Your Womb program, the 3-month intensive. The 3-month intensive inside of our Detoxify Your Womb program. Okay, work with me January, February, and March, all the way up until April 1st, from January 1st of 2026 to April 1st. Okay, so there's a deposit of $750 that has to be paid before the 15th of December to register, to lock in your spot. The next payment is not due until January 16th. That's when the next payment is due, FYI. So if you want more information about our 3-month intensive, the link is in my bio. You can also message me on TikTok. You can also email me. Okay, the link is in my description box if you want more information. If you're watching from YouTube, if you want more information about our 3-month intensive. Then we also have what's coming up this week, the Winter Hormone Reset Masterclass. That is on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? So today's the last day to register at the early bird rates. So be sure to register. If you haven't registered already, be sure to register today so that you get it at the early bird rate, which is half the price, okay? So it's $111 until midnight, and then it goes up to $222. You literally learn how to fully restore your hormonal balance. You get lifetime access. You can ask questions. It's going to be an amazing masterclass. I'm so excited for it. Again, it'll be Sunday on Zoom. Anybody from anywhere in the world, as long as you have a Zoom computer and Wi-Fi, you can join, okay? And as long as you register, all right? Any other questions before I go? I've been on here for over an hour. Thank you guys so much for being here. Of this live, if you want to watch if you're just coming in, or you came in the midway, be sure to watch the rest of the replay on YouTube. The link is in my bio. Also, get in our subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay? And by the way, I asked earlier where you guys were watching from, but if you guys are in the London area or around London, my question was never answered. Oh, hey, Simone, I didn't see it. Let me know. Or Chartrice. Sorry. United Kingdom. Okay. So I am doing an event in London, right? It's called, and for more information, to sign up for our info session, that's going to be free. The link is in my bio, but I'm doing an event in London. It's going to be an intensive. I'm working with clients in person in London on March 1st and 22nd. And then afterwards, you work with me for 8 more weeks via Telegram, okay? But you can also, too, you don't have to live in London. I'm just doing it in London. You can fly out there as well. You can fly out there. You just have to have your own accommodation and flights, but I'm going to be working with women in person, okay? I'm only taking about 3 to 4 women for this. So if you're interested, you're becoming a client. It's paid, by the way. So it's not just like I don't know. Well, it's not a regular event. This is a VIP event, right? So if you are in the UK, or surrounding areas, or you can get to the UK by March 21st, March 22nd, 2026, right? Our Renew Your Womb Intensive. This is going to be helping you heal your womb completely. It's going to be a 10-hour training, 5 hours one day to 5 hours the next day. You'll also be provided with food as well. And it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for that. So if you want more questions, you have a question, okay. You guys, y'all that have a question, ask me the question. Ask me the question. So if you want more details about the Renew Your Womb Intensive in London, England, that's going to be in March, be sure to click the link in my bio. All the information about it is there, okay? If you're watching from, I didn't put it in my description box. If you're watching from YouTube, go to our description box. You'll see the link for all my, the link tree for all of my courses and programs. You'll see it there, okay? No worries. I've been hearing some fibroids can get harder to get rid of depending on where they are. No, not necessarily. But they're harder to get rid of when they're calcified. So when you so after a while, fibroids do calcify. Some of you guys already have calcified fibroids, right? You may have already heard that your fibroids have calcified. Is it impossible to get rid of? No, but it does make the situation more complex, okay? So hopefully I answered your question. Silly Goose, you said you had a question. What a name. You said you had a question. I'm waiting on your question real quick, but we're about to go. Okay. But anyway, if you're watching from YouTube, be sure to click the like button. You're welcome. You're welcome, Chartrice. Thank you guys so much for the likes. We got over 10,000 likes today, so yay. All right, y'all have a good one. Oh, real quick. I had a UFE last year. My cycles have been amazing. Can you drop fibroids while urinating? Typically, no. But here's the thing. If you had a UFE procedure last year, you're welcome, Silly Goose. If you had you haven't got to the root cause of those fibroids. So we need to get out of this temporary relief type of thing. If you've already had a procedure to get rid of your fibroids, more than likely your fibroid will grow back if you're not addressing the root cause. So you still have work to do if you don't want to get the fibroids again. There was a woman that had this story is really sad, but I shared this. I actually did a video on this. There was a woman that messaged me that had, and I told her not to. She had a UF procedure done in 2023. She felt fine afterwards. They were even shrinking. It was 6 fibroids. About a year later, she started getting symptoms again. And then a couple years later, when she checked, she had grown 10 more fibroids. So it went from 6 that were after the UFE, they were starting to shrink, but it went from 6 to 16. And her symptoms got really bad again. Y'all gotta stop doing these procedures and heal your wound naturally. Now, if you've already had the procedure, you still have work to do. You still have to get to the root cause of the problem. Okay? When we have, and Silly Goose, be sure to watch the rest of the live stream. I think you came in towards the end. The link is in my bio to get on our YouTube channel. The replay will be on YouTube. So, okay, so I'm about to go. But y'all, and we just talked about how we save somebody from cutting into her uterus. We don't do surgery over here. This is a holistic. We help women get rid of their fibroids naturally. Address what caused the fibroids to occur. UFE does not do that, and myomectomies do not do that. Also, taking out your uterus does not do that. Okay, so there's that. Y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Be sure that if you're watching from YouTube or TikTok, get on our email list. Get on our email list. You get 7 days of fibroid healing, our 7-day fibroid healing series. Get on our healing. You had both. Okay, so then definitely we got to get to the root cause of the problem. You know that these procedures don't work. You should know. You should know. The link is in my bio. Get on our email list. You get 7 days of our fibroids healing series. The link is in if you're watching from YouTube, get on our email list. The link is in my description box, okay? So if we've had both procedures, we know that these procedures don't work, okay? All right, y'all. Have a good one. Bye. Get on our email list. Bye. Bye, YouTube.